What's up, YouTube? Crimson Fox here with another deck breakdown. Today we're going to be doing my spiders. Basically what spiders do, sorry if you can't see that, what spiders do is abuse making your opponent go into defense position and abusing defense position monsters in general. Alright, so let's start this off with one of the main cards of the deck. 3 Ground Spider. A really good card for the deck. Basically, when your opponent summons a monster besides flip summoning or setting, he can switch it to defense position as long as he's in defense position. You can only activate once per turn, but it's really good and it actually stops a lot of shit. Like Red Dragon, when they summon out Red Dragon, and I have a defense position Ground Spider and another defense position Ground Spider and other such things that are in defense position. When they summon it, I say, fuck you, switch it to defense position, and it stops them. It lets me survive for at least a turn. Okay. Next to Spyder Spider, pretty much my monster reborn of the deck. Whenever it kills a defense position monster, I can special summon one level 4 or lower insect type monster from my grave. Pretty good card, especially since I abuse defense position. And yeah, it's really good, especially. Yeah, he's just really good. I honestly have no other comment about him. Next to Mother Spider. One of the really good beaters of the deck. Basically, you can special summon her by tributing 2 of your opponent's face-up defense position monsters. And if your opponent doesn't happen to have 2 face-up defense position monsters, you always have the whole 1 tribute thing to normal summon her. You can always normal summon her. And because it's only 1 tribute for 2300 attack, not too bad. A note about her special summoning: you have to have at least 1 insect type monster in the grave, and that can at least 1 insect type monster in the grave, and you can't have any other type in the grave. Period. If you do, her effect does not work. All right, next, 1 Relinquished Spider. I'm mainly running 1 because I don't want to actually run him in the deck. I want to run a second card that we'll get to later. Yay, no spoilers. Basically, one reason I don't want to run him is because of that, and the other reason is he's got a good effect, but it's got some ridiculous requirements. And if you don't have those requirements, he becomes a dead draw because he's so weak. Basically, when you have 4 or more insect type monsters in your grave, you contribute him to destroy all face. Wait, is it all face up? I'm sorry, I had to check. Yeah, no, yes, it's all face up defense position monsters. Sorry if the camera went off the card. Destroy all face up defense position monsters your opponent controls. Now the effects sound nice, sounds nice, but the requirement is ridiculous. I mean, having 4 more grave insects in the graves does sound easy, and it is, provided you draw him late in the game. He's good for late in the game, so running too many of him is actually a bad idea. I mean, I've ran just 2 of him in a deck before, and it did not work. It was disastrous. So running 1 is good, but there's another card that's even better. Doesn't do the same thing, but abuses defense position a lot better than he does. But for right now, he's a pretty good card. If I ever do get the chance to use his effect, I usually do. I usually do use it, is what I mean. Sorry about that. I'm starting to sound like an idiot. And oh my gosh, would you look at that? I'm sorry. I want to be organized with this. Hopefully it won't take too long, like my last one did. Okay, next. 3 Howling Insect. Pretty much a Master Dragon for insects. When he dies, special summon 1 1500 or less insect type monster from your deck. And does not matter the position. Okay. I always keep forgetting whether he's one of the ones that position matters or if he's not. But I run him over Koa'Ki. I do not run any Koa'Ki in this deck. Namely because I have Verdant Sanctuary, and oh, I just spoiled part of the deck. Oh well. I run Verdant Sanctuary, which gets my insects to my hand anyway, and I need my insects more on the field than I do in my hand. If they're in my hand, it's good. if they're on the field without summoning them, it's even better. Like Ground Spider. Normally what I would do with Ground Spider, since he has 0 attack, is I set a Howling Insect and let it die. If once I go through as many Howling Insects as needed, I special out Ground Spider in defense position, since his effect only works in defense position. So that's my whole reasoning running this over Koa'Ki. And hold on a second, my laptop screen went dark. Hate it when it does that. Alright, next, 3 Infernity Beetle. I don't really use him for his effect. I use him for everything else about him. He's a level 2 Dark Insect tutor, which is great for me. And on the occasion, I do use his effect. It's very rare, but usually when I do, some shit goes down, to say the least. Really good card, especially if you're running Infernities. So yeah, there's that. Next, to Cross-Sword Beetle. Again, since it's all about defense position, I decided to abuse it a little bit more with Cross-Sword. Most people think that he's the only one who gets Pierce, but no, he actually gives all face-up insect-type monsters Pierce. Or at least people I've met who have been asking me about him. They're like, what does he do? And I tell them he gives all my insects Pierce, and they say, you know, stuff like, oh, I thought he was the only one who got Pierced. Oh, or they just flat out tell me the other cards that are better, which is annoying to say the least. Anyway, next, 1 Koa'Ki Beetle. This is what I was talking about before with Relinquished Spider. This is the card I need a second one of, so that way I can replace that Relinquished Spider. Really good, especially since most of the meta is light or dark. Basically, when your opponent summons a light or dark monster, switch that monster to defense position, which is really good for me. Plus, he's a 1900 insect beater. Huh? That's great! That is a great, great, great effect. Especially for me. So, that's that. Last monster, sorry, is Earthbound Immortal Uru. Boss monster of the deck. Really, really powerful, really, really good, and of course, since I'm running him, you can obviously tell it's a field spell deck. He also gives the added bonus of taking control of my opponent's monsters. It's pretty good. Alright, next. I run 3 Spiderweb. I accidentally grabbed 2 Spiderweb. Sorry, I'm checking if... Okay. Yeah, okay, I just want to make sure I didn't get any of the next card. This is the main card of the deck. Basically, when any monster attacks, at the end of the damage step, it's switched, and its battle position cannot be changed. The only way it can be changed is by the controller after their next end phase, or by card effect. So stuff like Zero Gravity, Windstorm of Ataqua, yada yada yada, that kind of stuff. Switches them back. Yeah, it's really good, but it's also a hindrance because I'm forced to when I want to attack, I'm forced to switch, which is why I want to run a certain card, which I'll tell you about later on. I'm not going to spoil it anymore, I promise. Next, to Terraforming, obvious reasons, get out my field spell, or get it to my hand. To Econ, more defensive using. Basically, set it when my opponent attacks, activate, and switch him to defense position. Sets him up real nice. Next, to Verdant Sanctuary, gets my insects to my hand when they die, which is really good. Let's say I lose a ground spider, and I don't want another. I can either A, get another ground spider, or B, get something that's the same level, which since most of my deck is level 4, I can get pretty much any insect I want, minus a few. But pretty good dex thinner, pretty good search, pretty good replacement. Whatever you want to call it. Next, to Solidarity. Since my insects are extremely, extremely weak, I use this to power them up. Makes me feel a little bit safer about using them. And it's a great card to combo with Infernity Beetle, if I can ever get the effect out. Tribute 1, get 2 2k beaters. Next, MST. By the way, the next few spells are staples. I don't run any staple traps because I really couldn't find any room. But 2 MST, standard. Book of Moon, more defensive using and is pretty standard. Monster Reborn and Dark Hole. 2 reasons I don't run Heavy Storm is because A, I don't own another Heavy Storm. Yeah, I know, I'm poor. Shut up. Nah, I'm just kidding, guys. But I do not own another Heavy Storm. I don't own another Heavy Storm. Plus, I need my back row, as you'll see in a second. And plus, I need my field spell, which is technically part of the back row. Next are trapped. I run 2 Curse of Anubis. Pretty freaking great card, since hardly anyone runs normal monsters. Minus Alexandrite. Fuck that dragon. I love him. I really do. I love that card, but fuck it to hell when I'm using this deck, because I can't Curse of Anubis it. Oh, excuse me. Oh, hold on a second. My screen went dark again. Hate it when it does that. Anyway. Next. Run no entry. This is the card I was talking about before that I want to run something different. I want to run 0 gravity. I'd like another no entry, but 0 gravity kind of works better because it forces my monsters that have been switched to defense position by Spiderweb back into attack position. But this card works for now. I do want another one if I can't get to 0 gravity. Pretty much when I use it like this. I use it the same way I use Econ. And it only works on... The reason I like to run this is because it works on only attack position monsters, which is really nice. One combo is to summon out Ground Spider. When my opponent attacks, I activate this. Everything switches to defense position. Haha. Joke's on you. But, yeah. It also comes in great with the next card, which is Dark Mirror Force. Basically, when my opponent has a defense position monster on the field, which, as far as I know, that's the only way to get it to activate. I use, freaking, oh my gosh, I can't think of what it's called. I use the World Championship Series to test card effects and card rulings. And the game would not let me activate this card until my opponent had at least 1 defense position monster on the field. So I wait till they have at least one defense position monster on the field, and their entire field is, or they have a lot more monsters on the field. Basically, wait till they attack, activate this card, then chain to its activation. No entry or 0 gravity. No entry would be better. It switches them all to defense position. But I digress. Activate this, chain it to this, and it forces all my opponent's monsters to switch to defense position. Since this goes first, it goes away first, then this effect activates, which banishes all my monsters, or sorry, not all my monsters, all my opponent's monsters. Banishes them all directly. It doesn't even destroy, which is pretty good. And it combos well into the deck. Last cards, 2 Lair Wire. Really good trap. I don't understand why a lot of other decks don't use it. Maybe it's because a lot of stuff that negates destruction. Basically, you banish an insect from your grave and destroy 1 card on the field. Maybe it's 1 monster. Hang on. Yet 1 monster your opponent controls. So it's pretty good. Alright. Yeah, that's Ground Spider on the... Sorry, I got a little distracted. Next, extra deck. 3 Stardust. If you saw my Dragonity video, you'll probably know some of the extra deck. I do share an extra deck between decks. Mainly because I don't own any other cards, or any other synchro cards that I can actually use. Okay. One Red Dragon. I'd like another one. Oh, another thing about Infernity Beetle is that he allows me to get him out pretty easily. Plus, I have the potential to go into Red Nova, which is pretty cool. I don't own a Red Nova, but I have the potential to go into it. Next, one of the key synchros of the deck, Underground Arachnid. Basically, it's got a Relinquished-like effect where once per turn I can take a monster you control and equip it to myself. When she would die, she does not. And also, she has an Ancient Gears effect. When she attacks, no spell trap cards can be activated. It's pretty freaking good. Next, Flamvell Uruquizas, namely because he's got Pierce and he gets powered up from Pierce. And last, 1 Colossal Fighter, since I don't feel like switching Colossal Fighter, and I really hardly ever use my Colossal Fighters. I mean, yeah, I understand they're good cards and all, but Oh, sorry guys. I understand they're good cards and all, but I don't find much use in them. I'm not trading them. They're still pretty good. Just want to throw that one out there. Anyway, that's it. If you guys want to see me break down other decks or build you guys or show you guys other deck lists, I can do that. You're just gonna have to work with me. It's gonna be on DNet because more than likely I don't have the cards you guys need. But if you need any help deck building, PM me. Post in the comments what you want. Rate, comment, subscribe. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of a funny thing to tag on to that. I'm gonna try and do those. So rate, comment, subscribe, sleep in, something like that. Hey, that was almost exact. Anyway, see you guys later. Keep on nerding.